I'm
So
actually are you gonna be around even after the storm?
yes, I am.
Because I know you, Arthur told me you wanted to talk to me about all this craziness that started up.
I kind of crashed out on him just now. I'm gonna be honest.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to speak to somebody. Like, here's the thing: he wasn't being very straightforward with me, and it was pissing me off.
Mm-hmm.
Here's at the forefront: if PD is actually, um, circumventing civilians to do their repairs
Mm-hmm.
or whatever it might be, that's a huge issue that needs to be resolved. And I would go as far as deducting their pay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go even further than that and claim that they, by doing that, might even be illegal.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, Nino,
Yeah.
um, I didn't really pay attention to it because I was used to Cornwood basically
Mm,
being his own mechanic. So I'm used to this sort of behavior
yeah.
from LEOs, to put it that way.
Yeah. I mean,
But the thing is that
it still
he's a
shouldn't be
mechanic,
happening.
he's a mechanic, and I'm a mechanic. We were both in the lemon list. I mean, I repaired 2 or 3 cars for them. I was like, well, now that we're here, who needs repairs? And I repaired a couple of PD vehicles because they're constantly saying, they claim, oh, there's no mechanics around.
Yeah, which is bullshit.
Which is bullshit. I mean, I even 311 to the point that I don't really even do it anymore. I'll do it like once or twice a shift because one, I never get a response from anyone. Like they probably don't read it because they have so many messages, on their phones. So it really doesn't do anything for me. But if I'm working, I'm in the lemon list. I twat out every so often and I 311. And these guys are still saying that there are no mechanics around. I mean, like right now I'm not working, I'm off. So you can't find me anywhere, that says anything about mechanic. But normally I cover all my bases. But yeah, it is. I mean, for me, it's not even the pay because I really don't ask people for money to put in. Like, I'll ask them for a tip just so I put in their parts.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's my job. It's what I trained to do. Let me do my job. I don't really have the opportunity to do much because people are not really coming to mechanics. Everyone has their own pocket mechanic, which is, I mean, it's always been that situation, but it's like, dude, at least let me do my job. It's a fun thing to do.
I agree with that completely. Here's kind of where I took umbrage with what Arthur did. Now, how do I put this? I think his ability to explain his thought process might not be fully there, so I understand that that some of that may have been at play. But from my position, I'm getting a phone call stating, "Hey, I witnessed a bunch of LSPD officers supposedly doing something at the tuna shop. I don't know what they're doing. I don't have any names for it. But hey, by the way, we boycotted. All the mechanics are now boycotting the police department. Now what?"
Yeah.
So for me, it's now I'm getting a phone call that that this guy has created a disaster scenario, right? Because while I am fully on board with giving some sort of repercussion to the PD, the problem now is I don't even know, number one, I can't go based on hearsay, right? I'm sure you guys saw something, but I don't even have a name.
Exactly. That is the big issue.
Yeah. So, because
I don't know this guy in particular either. I have shit memory, so it is what it is.
Yeah.
And I had all sorts of, I had everything in my brain except mechanic work and what was happening at the moment. Like I said, I don't really pay attention.
Yeah.
But yeah, there were 4 different cars there. He was putting in tuner shop upgrades, like fixing brakes, I assume, and all those sorts of things, because he had a car up on the lift. They were making their cars better. All I do remember is something, I don't know if he mentioned it, that one of the
Mm,
officers said that Albert King was going to check his locker to see if he had any parts that needed to be put in.
I got you.
So what could be done, or what I could do, I guess, or Arthur could do, is try to give Albert a call and ask him what the name of the officer was.
The thing is,
Because that was like the only name that rang a bell. Or I mean, we can just like drop this and move on. Somebody let them know in the next meeting. It's like, hey, come on, guys,
I,
please. If
I
there's a
can
mechanic around,
I
you
can
know,
certainly do that, but how well do you know Arthur?
fairly well, I'd say.
Okay.
Not like super well, but why? What?
So here's what I tried to. This is why I ended up popping off on him.
Mm,
What should happen is, if there's a concern, call the mayor. Let me try to resolve it. The problem I now need to deal with is I need to go make a bunch of unfounded accusations, right?
of course.
And that is on behalf of mechanics in Los Santos County. Now, I understand that he's a mechanic, but he runs out of Paleto, right?
Yeah.
So
It's not even in the city.
it's not even in the city. So it kind of creates a a broader political issue for me, because as much as I want him to work, I
Hmm.
don't have any responsibility over him, right? But now
Yeah.
he's kind of created a problem down in the city. Now, I have spoken to a couple mechanics. They don't know anything about this. So luckily,
Okay.
that I don't think anything
People
has
are
kind
still
of come
getting their
out of it.
repairs.
But
Hmm.
it's more the principle of, like, I don't know if he realizes that if this had gone really sideways, I would have had to have reacted, because
Yeah,
you're
I understand.
preventing
He's put you in a very difficult decision, in a very difficult position.
exactly. That's exactly what it is.
Because like,
And
well, that's like another thing that has to be taken into consideration.
yeah.
Is like, yeah, there is the north and the south,
Mm,
but mechanics, there's nowhere else that you can do the repairs you can do anywhere. You can be on top of Mount Chiliad and you can do repairs. But when it comes to upgrades of
yeah.
any sort,
Is down in the city.
it
Absolutely.
is down it's down in the city no matter what. So it's like mechanics have to have like a strange sort of like, I don't know, it's something we have to share. I
Mm,
couldn't like tell, like, I don't know, Carnage, they
mm,
are up north. If they came down to Mosley's
yeah.
to put upgrades on customer's vehicle,
Mm,
let's pretend that I own Mosley's, which I know I don't, but I couldn't tell them, it's like, get out of here, you guys are from the north, because they do not
yeah.
have the option to actually do their job up north.
Absolutely. And Carola, I absolutely understand all those things.
Hmm.
I recognize the perils of being a mechanic. I mean, you remember, I was one for a while.
Yeah,
It's
I
more
remember.
like, it really comes down to, I can't even fix this because I don't even have a
Hmm.
singular name, right?
Exactly.
And we don't even know what should have happened here. And this is what I tried to tell Arthur, but I have a very
Hmm.
short temper when it comes to excuses. And
I
when
completely understand.
what he should have done is find out who it was, approach
Mhm.
them, have a conversation, right? And say, hey, if this doesn't happen, we're gonna need to do this. But by going all the way to a 10 and going around to other shops and stating this, like, he even told me there was 7 to 8 cops, not 4, right? Painting a
And
scenario that is, let's say, an exaggeration. You've now created a conflict where that's unresolvable, right? Because now
mhm.
either he does it or I do it, and I'm like, let's say I go to chief of police or go to a lieutenant. I'm like, supposedly this thing happened. I don't have any names. We
Mhm.
don't know what the circumstances were, why it was happening, et cetera, et cetera.
Mhm.
And now these shops have you banned. It's now a headache for 95% of the police force, the
Mhm.
mayor, all these mechanics, all created because no one spoke to each other, right? And that's kind of where my
And
grievance kind of comes from.
okay, my option to you
Yeah.
is if you are going to talk to PD,
Mm.
the easiest way to make this a little less awkward is
Yeah.
to do it in a completely generalized fashion. Like if there's a group of people and one of them fucked up and
Agreed.
you don't want to point them out, you go general. So, yeah, just tell them generally. It's like, if police officers can please double check the, I don't know, check the lemon list, make sure that someone is, that there's no mechanics around because, in
Yeah.
this case, there were two of us. At least I know for a fact I was on the lemon list. And, you know, tell them it's like, please, if you can't find a mechanic, oh, well, we understand. But if not, you know, cut them some slack and give them something to do, basically. I think that's like the only way to keep it as politically correct or as,
and I can
as chill as possible.
I can certainly do that, but there's still, that's certainly something I can do. I want to look into it, but I'm hoping that this sort of thing doesn't happen in the future. Specifically, I want parties to speak, right? And I think that is the bare minimum. While you guys have it down bad, 2 or 3 apples should not, bad apples should not result in. If everyone's always taking the extreme decisions, it just makes everything worse. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it doesn't, things don't get fixed. It just escalates situations.
And then a lot of mechanics end up getting hurt as a consequence of it. A lot of cops end up getting hurt. I don't mean like violently, but in terms of, their interactions and whatnot.
Yeah, the thing was also the timing because like Milton's, I think it was Milton's.
Yeah.
I don't even want to say names, but I know that there was at least 2 or 3 different mechanic shops who were not repairing police vehicles.
So Milton's I think did it right.
I think the thing is I didn't want to say if it was exactly them, but it was interesting that they had to do like a presentation. I think it was for
presentation of 25,000. So there was a way around it, right? It wasn't and that's what I mean by the situation with Arthur is more unresolvable, right? Because there's no line, there's no like, you're sort of like boycotting without knowing who the boycott is for and how to resolve it, right?
There's no give and take to it.
Precisely. So
yeah, I completely understand that as well.
Yeah.
But I think this can probably get basically swept under the rug and forgotten.
Yeah, I agree.
Because as you said, you already talked to a mechanic shop or two, and it wasn't really, nothing really seemed to have come out of it. So,
and I could be wrong because I don't know about the other shops that, but I think in regards to Arthur, right? Like I know he's probably doing what he thinks is best, but there's also the tone of the conversation. Like it definitely felt like hey, did I do a good job? After the other day telling me he wants to join the office, when this to me, I'm not even a big fan of the police department in general, but this is like very bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
because it can create scenarios like major lawsuits, and it's not a good scenario. Is what I'm trying to say. So if you could let Arthur kind of, because I think you have understanding of my perspective a little bit better, maybe have a chat with him, because I did try to explain it, but I think he was very defensive, so I don't know how much he understood where I'm coming from. Like, I cannot help if you're not letting me help.
Yeah, I feel that maybe both of you guys might have somewhat similar personalities, and sometimes you go a bit over the top. So I will sit down, I will talk to him calmly and see about getting this fixed.
Yeah.
But hopefully we'll fix this. The thing is that also one thing that many people don't notice that I do is it isn't easy on PD either. I had to give a police officer Tylenol. He's online, right? He's I just saw him twatting a bit ago.
Mm.
He didn't even have the money to get it to a cross.
Mm.
So I gave him. So I was just like,
Really?
I was like, you know what?
I don't think that's true.
Here's a buy one get one. 2K for 2 across. I
Yeah.
don't. Money is not important to me, so that doesn't matter as long as I have money
Carola,
to buy my next 50.
I think he
sets,
may have lied
I
to
don't
you.
care.
But
Maybe I don't care.
no,
It doesn't matter. I mean,
yeah.
he was happy. It made his day. And being
That's
a
good.
police officer is
Yeah.
rough in the city because
Yeah.
I hear all of their complaints when I'm fixing their cars. And making it even harder for them to get repairs is, yeah. No bueno.
Yep. No, I'm with you. Okay. Yeah.
And if I got conned, I got conned out of 2K. Come on. People have been
it's
conned
whatever.
for much more.
Yeah.
Who cares?
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
It's not going to make me go broke.
I will, I'm going to try to understand the circumstance, like I said. And, I just, I don't know. I would like to take a look into this, see if this is like a issue. At the end of the day, it's just, I hope he understands that when you're playing around with things and businesses down in the county, representing a business in a different county, I'm going to take it very differently. I'm going to react very differently because, it's the city's my responsibility. So,
yeah, it's just that, like I said, it's that gray area in mechanic work because everybody has to come down to the city to do it.
Yeah, yeah. And
that's the thing.
Yeah.
It's not like tow work that, they just sign in and they can work wherever.
That's something I unfortunately cannot largely be considerate of, right? And it's
because this wasn't about really repairs. This was about the tuner shop stuff, but he turned it into a repair situation.
Exactly. That's exactly it, right? And there's like a bigger issue at play because I've ran into a problem with the Polito mechanic in the past, right? Which is kind of partly stems from, which is, we've got the whole MOPEC system, right? Somehow they were getting MOPEC deals, which never should be happening. So there's kind of like, like Blaine County has less than the city. That's just how life is. You know what I mean? And those are things that I can't really consider too much because otherwise I have to stop playing those kind of games with everything in the city, and that's a dangerous, it's a very dangerous avenue, right?
Yeah, I haven't needed to utilize MOPEC services, but yeah, I mean, that's on the mayors in the north to figure their own things out, how they're going to help out their people. You can't help out the whole city.
Yep, I agree. Okay.
The whole island, I mean.
All right. Well,
so yeah, okay.
Carola,
I will see if I
it.
can get this. I'll see if I can get,
I would like him to go and let the other shops to know to dial back, and that way I don't have to do anything drastic on my end, right? And specifically, what that means is figure out what the hell actually happened, and then dole out consequences for effectively everybody. Right, because and what that means is sparking up a deal with other shops and paying them more to, you get what I'm saying, right? Because the services at the end of the day, PD is something I have to be responsible for. So if they're not getting repairs, then I got to go find another way, and that's going to hurt all the mechanic shops minus like 2 or 3.
Exactly. Which is, I told him that when he was telling this to me, I told him all that's going to happen is that PD is going to have to start making their own parts because they're not going to go to Mr. Mosley.
Exactly. Thank you, Carola. That's exactly it.
I know for a fact that, well, one of them doesn't show up anymore, but there are plenty of LEOs who are master mechanics.
Yeah. What they would just use that as an excuse because I know these guys. They're fucking, a lot of these people, like, I get what they do. They'll use it as an excuse to literally start repairing their own shit.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that makes it worse for every mechanic. So I'm gonna see what I can do. I may even make it illegal, to be honest.
Like, I mean,
So
if it's just like that, they're not while on duty would just be fine, because if someone's if a officer is off duty, he can do whatever he wants when he's off duty, you know?
yeah.
That's not an issue. It's not like, oh, no cop can ever. No, just if you're on duty, you're supposed to be protecting the city and not, upgrading everyone's cars. If you want to go that. But yeah, I will try and do as much damage control as I can do on this side.
Yeah.
And I will talk to you later after I have talked to Arthur.
Beautiful. It would help me tremendously if I have a name. He mentioned King. He also mentioned Maxwell, but like I said.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Here's the thing. King is mentioned only as a name that we remembered. King was never. I didn't see King.
Oh, see, he didn't say. Yeah, okay.
I mean, I don't know if, because like I said, I was doing repairs on cars for the PD.
Yeah.
And I think there was also a deputy in there. I might be wrong. I don't know. But I was doing repairs on cars. So if King showed up, I didn't see him. But I can say with fair certainty that nobody put anything into his car.
I believe it. And this kind of goes back to what I said, right? Like without any names and stuff, we don't know if this was sanctioned, whether it was, like, for all we know, that like we don't have any information to go off of.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying that if you feel that you really need to do something about it, you would have to go with the generalized, please avoid this.
And I try to avoid
for the finger
that.
pointing.
Exactly. I have to avoid that other, what you're suggesting too, because unfortunately, when you talk about things generically, a lot of people take it more personally, because they're like, why do I feel like I'm getting talked down to when I'm not doing this? Right.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'd say I'm going to have a chat with Daisy and the chief of police and see if we can figure something out. I just need,
Okay. Sounds good.
Carola, I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
You are very welcome. And even though I wanted to ask you, is there going to be a way to fill out a form or something for the cabinet? Because that is something I would be interested in.
Yes.
To help you guys out in any way I can.
I think that's a great idea. I
was helping Maeve out the other day. That she was getting information on tow for the cabinet. We were hanging out.
I'm gonna have a chat with them, and we'll set up an interview either today or tomorrow. And Perfect. Let's see what we can do, because I think you'd be a great asset.
Yeah, I would really like to help out in any way I can.
Okay. Hell yeah. All right, Carola, I appreciate it. I'll be in contact.
Okay.
All right.
Have a good day, Nino, and we'll talk later.
Hell yeah. You take care. Bye.
Bye.
I think getting Carola would actually be fucking amazing.